Good morning and welcome to Mom and Ed in the Morning for July the 10th, 2023. I am the mom, and he...
This is the Ed.
The Ed, yes. The Ed. The absolute Ed. The finest Ed ever. Speaking of, at my last dance party of the night yesterday, which was like 6 o'clock or 5:30 or 6:30 or something, and there's Eds 1, 2, and 3 dancing along with me.
Yes, thing is, meteorologists said God turned on the oven tonight, as some other people in the US had, but yesterday in Germany was same situation. That is, when at 10 o'clock in the morning, temperature rises beyond a certain temperature, school kids get dismissed.
Really?
Go home.
Really? Well, do you have school in the summers there? Is it year-round school?
This is one thing. We have we have summer vacation, summer holidays for the kids, yes, but check out, that is, each state has its own schedule.
Okay.
So,
there's a bunch of... How can
in some states, holidays start next week.
Okay.
And in other states, holidays will end in 4 weeks. Already 2 weeks running. And it's, this is kind of, the good side of is, so the holiday weekend that kills the traffic entirely, does not happen at the same time everywhere.
Well, there is
one idea. But the city idea is now you have a traffic jam somewhere every weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yep. Also, another thing is when you have when you have like first it's primary school, and then or elementary school, and then comes high school, probably you call it, where people stay until depends what kind of level you have you are seen to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's somewhere between. We have a secondary school that that ends when you are when you are about 15.
Okay.
And start learning a craft.
Okay.
Or such things.
Mm-hmm.
Or just starting learn to work at the shop and get your
you found it. Quickly, dig it
get
up
kind
and
of
bring it back to me at my camp.
get kind of professional education as well.
Okay.
And that then will be at 16, 17, and then you have kind of a completed education, and that makes you fit for a range of jobs.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly not does not qualify for university or the like, but you have also this extra things you can do to upgrade your your degree, so to say.
Yeah.
Then you have the intermediate thing that ends at 16, 17.
Okay.
That actually gives you a qualification for one branch of universities. So that is, you go from school to university or college, maybe you say.
Okay.
But okay, and yeah. Now and then finally, gymnasium, considered top grade school. That is, you end at 18, 19, ready for university. Any kind of. That is school system. The threefold things. Then some schools. Then we got a third branch where the same school offers any grade. So children can get to another lane without having to leave school and the like. It's more adaptable. Considered more adaptable. And yeah, now back to federalism. Then now, especially the Bavarians, who always leech money from the more industrialized states, but then brag on the achievement that made by the money they have got.
So no political commentary this morning, eh?
Yeah, yes, indeed. But especially if you want to rant, observe Bavarian politicians, especially those in the C Party.
The C Party.
Yes, the Christian Social Democratic Union that is neither Christian nor social.
Is it democratic?
Depends.
So not necessarily that either. Always good.
Democratic is something different. The Christian Social Democratic Christian Social Union is so Christian and social that any other state in Germany does not have them running for election.
Really?
They have the Christian Democratic Union. Those two. So when it comes to an election for the Bundestag, that chamber is just the thing of Senate and Congress or the like, or Senate and House does not fit. Okay, we have two houses, and Bundestag is made of you are elected directly for the Bundestag, and okay, when it comes to those elections, the delegates from the Christian Social Union are always aligned with the delegates from the Christian Democratic Union. They call themselves sister parties, and I can tell you they are bad. They are not nice sisters to each other. This is especially Bavaria always kicks into any direction, has always done. Just because, kind of, we are the special ones. Not special
okay.
in the best sense.
Okay. That kind of special.
They have no idea how I came on that lane in Star Trek Online. We came from weather to holidays to federalism
school.
To policy.
Because we had to step through the schooling through there.
Yeah, schooling, and now there was something, the Bavarians at one day put it into the political discourse that we do not accept grades from that state because they are crap.
So that's how this all ties together. Okay,
Yeah.
So schooling here is a little different, and actually not only can every state make it a little different, but every district within the state can make it different, just enough
Sometimes even
different.
country, if I observe the YouTube videos in the last...
Oh yes, absolutely. Good morning, Andy. How are you doing? And thank you so much for the subscription. Appreciate that very much. Okay, so basically we have elementary, or what's commonly called grade school, which is grades kindergarten through grade 5. This is state funded, and you are required to attend school in some form. You can be home educated with an approved curriculum. You can be taught at a private school. You can be taught at a public school, depending on how you want to do that. Grades 6 through 8 are a middle school, or junior high would be the other name, junior high school. And that goes through about age 12 to 13, depending on the person. And this is just basically the same curriculum that you're getting in the preliminaries, more advanced math. This is usually where foreign languages would start, though a lot of schools introduce that early because, kids learn foreign language early better than they do late. And then after that, we have high school, which is grades 9 through 12. And that would get you out of school roughly age 17 or 18. We don't offer trade schools as an alternative after age 16, but within the high schools, there are trade school programs. So kids who really don't do well with the education know they want to go into a field like mechanics, not engineering, but
mechanics, sales,
plumbing, things like that. Yeah, no sales, unfortunately, no.
Yeah, but for example, nurse.
No. Nursing requires an advanced degree, a high school education minimum. You have to have graduated that, and generally a college degree. Nursing is considered advanced.
Okay, nurse, high school. Okay, matches same here in Germany. Now I confused college and high school.
Yeah.
Okay, college is where I start speaking about university.
Yeah, college. Okay, college and university. A college is an independent school of higher education. A university is also an independent school of higher education. A college can be inside a university. So a university can actually be built of a bunch of different colleges like it is in England, and some of the older universities have bunches of college.
Okay, winding down, it's a matter of, I would call it granularity.
For a limited time.
Yes.
That is, in Germany we have the university, and then within each university there is the computer science, would call it college in your terms. We have the mathematics college in your terms. We have the various linguistic colleges. We have for any kind where you get an academic degree, there is its own unit or college, and altogether make up a university in our view.
Yeah.
Probably your college offers maybe offer different branches and still call itself a college.
Well,
where we
Well, I went to a community college, which pretty much focused on post-high school education and getting you ready to go off and take an advanced degree, like a bachelor's and a master's, a PhD. So it lets you get a lot of the preliminary stuff done, work from home, and a lot of times while they help get you through with work programs. So great if you don't have the money or you're not sure what you want to do in college before you go spend $30,000 on your college education. Much easier to spend $5,000 and get all the junk out of the way and live at home and work.
Yeah. Speaking of Germans.
Germans.
Yeah. Most of our universities are state funded. That is, you have the only thing you have. You get kind of stipend for your when you are that. You get kind of you get a non-interest credit from the state if you qualify for by low income.
Yeah.
To make a where you can have a kind of living, that kinds of pita margaritas and hard-boiled eggs every day, and that's a flat that is if it's kind of if you're lucky, you'll get a place in a dormitory.
Yes.
and that is low cost. That is, so you have kind of low, middle grade life standard, high, low grade life standard from that, where you do the studying for an amount of years. That is, you cannot study forever.
Yes, yes. I do know some professional students, as we like to call them.
Yeah. But it's
Dig it up and bring
you
it back to
can
me.
and you have the libraries, so you
Well done. Well
get your
done. How
literature
can I-
Yes.
for free.
Oh, that's nice.
It's yeah, that's so essentially this is in theory your entire entire academic
Say, friend, there's a bunch of-
education
how
or your
can I-
entire education can be state funded. This is a theory. And then come the specials like jurisdiction, where you definitely need rich daddy to purchase all the damn books.
Yes.
Any student in jurisdiction has a shelf full of paper printed in legalese.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, and quite then same thing is also for medicine, as it's studying is medicine jurisdiction are two of the tough things, because in medicine either you are really damn close to genius level, same in your jurisdiction, or you study 1.5 times to 2 times the time where you get funded from state for living. These are this is the things. Yeah, where you do it, and then something very still similar when done with medical study. Okay, now got my degree, have kind of a diploma, but I'm not a I'm not
Right.
a doctor yet.
Right, absolutely.
Have to get doctor title. Have to get assistance in my working as the things where all those TV shows come from the and in many ways we are
You
similar,
found it.
sometimes we are
Quickly,
different,
dig it up and
sometimes
bring
we
it
are
back to me.
same but do not see it.
That's actually really close to ours for doctors and lawyers. It's
Well done. How can I-
4 years roughly to get your bachelor's degree. Minimum another 2 years to get any advanced degree beyond that. So becoming a doctor or a lawyer could be 7 years, which would include your advanced degree, time working as a intern, then time working as a fellow, if you're lucky, which would be in a specialty, and then maybe more time working on that. So figure on 11 to 12 years between leaving high school and becoming a practicing doctor or lawyer.
Yep. Speaking of bachelor, master, and the like, bachelors and masters have been introduced in Germany early in the
Say,
millennium
friend,
as
there's
an
a
additional
bunch of
academic
stuff. How
degree,
can I-
where almost every said, "Oh no, now we get the fake degrees."
The fake degrees?
Yes, as kind of bachelor and master, a master in engineering is not the same as the infamously competent German diplom engineer. You know those German engineers
Yes.
that create all those Volkswagen GTIs, where
You do remember I worked for a German engineering firm for 7 years, so I guess a little familiar with it.
And by the way, speaking of our German engineers' pride, it's if you never have seen that, search YouTube for the Unpimp My Auto, and then you
Unpimp My Auto?
Unpimp My Auto. That is
Okay, I've got to look for that one.
This is really German engineering versus American tuning,
You
I would
found
call
it.
it.
Quickly, dig it up and bring it back to me at my
That
town.
is amazing.
With Peter Stormare starring.
So
Well done.
Lexers is in the chat here and says, you mean fake degrees from non-existent universities in Azerbaijan and similar places? Not
No,
necessarily.
unfortunately not. That is a degree that makes you believe qualified, and yes, you are kind of, but there is of course one thing.
Mm-hmm.
When people leave university, enter a company, there is the saying, those teach nothing useful at those universities. Now time to learn your job, really.
Yeah, oh, so true. So true.
Yeah. So it's kind of, you can
So,
kind of
there's
a
a bunch
master
of- how
and
can I-
bachelor might be enable you to enter the real learning while younger. And that is okay. That is a thing, but yeah, it's, all it has its pros and cons, and of course, if something new is, mostly all people are at the con side before the pros get recognized. But
Yeah, it's one thing I do like about a lot of the local schools, because, I mean, we're here in Indiana, so we have Purdue University, which is a huge engineering school. Huge engineering school. It's actually where I'm going to go work on my bachelor's in cybersecurity. But part of their program is starting with like year 2, they start putting you out into the real world to train and actually learn how to do your job in the real world. What a concept, right?
yes, similar programs here. The
Oh,
interns.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And know what? The this is where the big corporations start the recruiting.
Yeah, exactly.
While studying,
Mhm.
have an internship, maybe 3 internships in a row. We have the time where you have the professor doing the lesson in the to the students, and then you have time where actually there is no such thing. That is during summer and during winter, and especially summer. There are some months, and so during that time, students go to
You found
internships
it.
at
Quickly,
Yes,
pick it up and
yeah,
bring it
it's
back to me
the
at
same
my
here.
town.
Yeah, and there the corporations start recruiting, looking for the smartest.
Well
They
done.
want to
Well done. How can I help
they
you?
want to put on. They want to employ later when done.
Well, yeah, that's the same way we are at our company.
Some of those, yeah, and some of those internships depends on the company. Some are actually where you actually get a payment
Mm-hmm.
considerable better than more money than you get
Say,
from the state
There's a bunch of temporary.
for your regular.
That's right. You guys would get money from the state for that. Ours, the internships are technically they can be unpaid, but that gets into really questionable legalities. So they always make a payment of some sort, though it's not always very much. The
Yeah.
company I'm at pays you a livable working wage.
Yeah, and this is just it's kind of yeah, and some of those internships, okay, there you should better have a daddy in managed position already, cause there's okay, let's work for this and that company and have an internship there now. Yeah, they have limited room, and yes, when management daddy management daddies care for their children first, then it's kind of okay. No internships open, all given away to the more connected students.
I will not say that we haven't used nepotism to fill our summer intern positions, but again, it's not because that, it's because they are actually qualified. But yeah, do they get preferential treatment when getting the position? Sure, absolutely. Do they have to work their butt off and get as sweaty and filthy as some of the other guys? Yeah, they do.
Yeah, this is
Well
the
done.
thing.
Well done indeed.
Same here.
I admit, how can
You
I help?
okay? You got the internship due to Daddy, but now Daddy will. You have to make everything else is up to you, and as it should be, of course, because otherwise that would not make sense.
Not
It's
at
an
all.
internship. It's not a paid holiday.
There you go. Musin says the norm here is like 50% of high schools in my country, they do job experience part-time. For a number of reasons, we don't. It's more the exception than the rule. You can do it, but you have to get special permission to work if you're under 18. And there's limitations. A lot of jobs, they won't let you do things because it's considered dangerous tasks. But, kids who are doing car repair, engineering, that kind of thing, which is a highly desired field, they definitely want them out there because they have jobs for them. Can we take a 45-second break for me to grab some more coffee and then we can hit the dance party? Great. 1 sec. I'll be right back. Yes, you're good puppers. You're such good puppers. Okay. Fifi's limping. Poor Fifi. Let's get to the dance party. Dance party! Probably can get over there faster this way. Welcome back, Andy. It's time for the dance party if anybody wants to join us in Danceland. There we go. Grab that.
Dance party starts half a minute.
Oh, just be patient. I will be there. Dance party. I will be there.
Yes.
Okay, so work restrictions are for under 18 based on age, job description, so there's limited hours. However, they don't get to cheat them on salary as far as I know. However, a lot of jobs are terrible pay.
The thing is, you are still getting taught. You are learning stuff. You are not, and also you are some. It's kind of you get a payment because you do some work on the one side, but also consider the stuff you learn as actually payment for the work to do. It's kind of thing.
Yeah, so for most jobs in the U.S., hang on a second.
Just dance.
Let's say the basic salary is $15 an hour, which it isn't, but I don't remember what it is.
Do the running man.
sidestep.
Except for, let's say, being a waitress. Being a waitress, the minimum salary was $2 and something per hour, because they assume you'll make up the remaining $13 or whatever to get to minimum from your tips. Well, that doesn't happen. So some of the better restaurants in the area have gone to paying their workers a living wage, and they don't.
Just
Tipping's an
dance.
option, but it's an option. But there's very few that are doing
Leg
that.
kick.
And people are saying, but it'll raise the prices. It does, but it doesn't. So your $12 burger, which with drink and all the sides and stuff, maybe your bill is $20, and you're going to pay, I don't know, $5 for a
Just
tip if you're
dance.
smart.
Oh, yeah.
So you raise that to what they would have paid anyway. Call it $17.95 plus taxes. That covers the working wages,
Leg kick.
and it covers the tip. And when you realize that, no, it really isn't that much
Do
higher
the
now.
snake.
By the way, I did have 2 triple choo-choos over the weekend, but I still have not had a quadruple chew.
Just dance.
I had 1 or 2 double choo-choos
running
when I was
man.
lucky.
Yeah, I just hit the right group in the right places. All right. I've got my phone on, but it's got a low battery, so I will try and watch the chat. I'm running 2 different tunes here. I think Ed is probably doing multiple tunes, too.
Do the leg kick.
Yeah, I do the triplet.
You can usually tell because all of a sudden our chatter goes from lots of talk to, oh, yeah, and all the 15 seconds between goes on.
Thing is, with Keybind,
Wave your hands.
it's, meanwhile, I do not use my post-it any longer, as I damn know it from,
Well, yeah, by this point you would.
yeah.
Do the sidestep.
Because, I got practice. I got practice.
Dance club style.
I find that it's harder for me to pick up what I was able to do last year or the year before or the year before. And there's that part of me going, it's me getting older. So by the time I kind of have my fingers back to where I can do the
running man.
Horgon hunt easily, I've done it 4 times and now I'm out of it, and then I've got the hour and a half break till the next one, and then I have to
the
kind of
snake.
remember it again.
Ah.
So I got into the flow with it yesterday for
Yeah.
2 or 3 of them.
Of course,
Do
you
the
always can
robot.
make up a new,
Do the sidestep.
kind of disease. That is gaming dementia.
I like this. No, I'm going to enjoy Ryza through the end of this.
Do the snake.
Then we've got the Vegas convention, which is almost immediately after that.
Just dance.
Though we'll only be off the air 1 day for Vegas, because I'm leaving on Thursday night, and I won't be on that Friday. And then we're there Saturday, Sunday, and right back after that. But, I spent quite a bit of time chatting with my ex-husband? Yeah, we'll still call him husband. My husband's financial guy, who has taken care of the money in the family for 2 generations now, and done darned well. Thank you very much.
The consigliere.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, well, start figuring out what you want to do for the rest of your life. Do you want to retire? Do you want to keep working? Do you want to travel? What do you want to do? And, do you want to go through all the money? Do you want to leave some to your family? What is the game plan? And then we can start doing planning.
Do the leg
So
kick.
given my choice, the thought of making the drive to Vegas every year, because it is a joy to drive all the way across the country and visit with people and, go out and, just see the sights of the country, which I've never
Just
done,
dance.
has been amazing. I'm thinking, having that
Do the
2 weeks
robot.
every year just to drive. And starting with my next year, or this December at work, I will gain another 2 days off per year. So nothing like Europe. You don't get to Europe quality vacations
Do
until
the
we reach,
robot.
year 5. Then it gets pretty good. But by year 5, might be time to consider, retirement.
Wave your hands.
But by then, maybe
Do
I'll be
the
too old to
sidestep.
do the cross-country 2-week drive with me, all the equipment, and the doggos. But that's when you get an RV. Do you know what an RV is? Recreational vehicle?
Wave your hands.
It's...
Do the running.
how to describe it. I'm sure you've seen them on American movies where people are going cross-country, and they've got like this giant trucky type vehicle with the whole family inside and the dogs and everything.
Just dance.
Yeah.
That's a recreational vehicle.
Yeah.
Dance
The
club
so-called
style.
Wohnmobil, or kind of, it's house on wheels.
Yes, it's a house on wheels. My martial arts instructor and his family bought one recently, like 3 years ago. And they love it. It's just the husband and wife now. The kids have all grown up. So they and their 2 dogs go off on their vacations on the weekends. And they go to trailer parks and
Wave your leg kick.
they really enjoy it. And they have loaned it out to people who have used it for cross-country trips. So it gets well used. Mileage is terrible because it drives like a truck on wheels. Or out like a house on wheels. But you can also rent them, so if you want to do a 2-week vacation cross-country and not have to pay for hotels on the way, and you've got your dogs with you, perfect.
Yeah, okay. Of course you have take care for food and
Do the running man.
and trailer park space.
Yes, but cheaper than a hotel. Far cheaper than a hotel.
Yeah, except when you go to the horror hotels, I guess.
Yeah, well, I don't do that.
Raise the roof.
But
Do the side step.
that's been my biggest issue. What do I do with the puppos if I decide to take a trip? I mean, this one to Vegas isn't bad. My son will stay in the apartment and take care of them. And since he works less than a 5-minute walk from here, it's not a problem.
Do the snake. Do the running
Yeah, well, I
man.
think pups will be fine in a station wagon as a... Okay, no, depends. Does hotel accept the doggo?
These days, yeah, most hotels accept doggos. But when you're not in the room, they want you to put them into like a cage.
Just dance.
And, you know, if I'm going to a convention, that's just mean.
Yeah.
So I figure what I'll probably do if I go to conventions with them is find a place for them to stay during the days. Like a,
Do the leg
Oh,
kick.
what do they call them?
Club
Dog hotels.
style.
they call them boarding, but they're actually little hotels for dogs. My dogs aren't very social, so I have some work to do. There's a lot of reasons this might not work. But, you know, we can work on that.
Do the leg kick. Wave your hands.
It's not going to be this year. I've got a full year to get them ready.
So I translate this from Loki. It has been translated from
Do the snake. Do the side
dog
step.
sitting to foster dog.
Yes, yes, definitely. That is the case.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of those
Dance club
things.
style.
Getting a pet, like especially dogs, that is a decision like having a baby.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, I love my doggos, so no worries there. They're
Wave
adorable
your hands
doggos.
style.
But it does limit things, because before Craig and I could take vacations, we couldn't go together too many places, but we could take vacations because the other one would be around to take care of the doggos. And that's not the case anymore. And
Do
never
the
will be again.
robot. Do the leg kick.
Of course, there is the other option of the dogs stay at home. And you get somebody to come live in your house. They have professional dog boarders.
Do the side step.
So combination house sitting dog care.
Yes. How did I miss one there? There we go. I missed one. Yeah, so there's a number of companies that do that. They send out people who will sit for your house. They will stay in your house. It's like they're renting your house, and they will take care of your dogs. Make sure all your utilities are handled. Make sure nothing goes bad in the house. And you pay them a minimal fee because they get to live there. But they still make a little bit of money, and a lot of retired couples do that. But if they're going to dog sit for me, they're going to have to come over and get to know the hellspawn first. Okay, let me catch up on the Musin chat. Musin says a 13-year-old in summer would make about $3.50 per hour, which is what McDonald's pays. Not here. Blah, 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 blah. Sleeping with the dogs is when you... Okay, so Musin, the temperature last night dropped down to a very comfortable sleeping level. Maybe 65 to 70 degrees, so windows wide open, absolutely lovely. And it was a Sunday. Nobody was sending off fireworks. Nobody had to leave for work. Nobody was having parties. And I went to bed about 10 o'clock. By 10:30, I was sound asleep and felt the disturbance of the dogs, both getting on the bed because it was cool enough for them to sleep on the bed. And by the time I woke up at 4, Fifi was sleeping on the pillow on my right-hand side, and Lolo was on the pillow on my left-hand side. And I got up to attend to morning things, and they both just woke up, looked at me, and went, we're going back to bed. It was perfect. Couldn't have had a better morning.
Now that had my tiny super villain chick, like you sitting on a chair, one dog left, one dog right, hand on each head's dog.
Yeah, that's my usual.
Dog's head. Yeah. Yeah.
So for next year, Musin, the game plan is to head over to Europe. I'm going to visit Ed. He doesn't know this yet, but I'll surprise him. And Pi, who does know I'm coming over. Now I'll add you to the list, and then I'll run up to Sweden and visit my family, too. And yes, absolutely, I expect you to show me the cooler parts of town. That's the best thing about having friends in places.
That's all for now. See you again soon.
Yeah.
And if I get to know you better, Andy, I'll make a trip to Poland, too. Because I have never been to Poland. Gotta add that to my list.
Yeah. Something I can tell you about my town. Our,
Get out there and fly. You've seen.
yes,
Get out there and
we have those malls are not really a thing in Germany mostly. What we have is this kind of centers.
Mm-hmm.
City, where in the center of the city there is a no drive zone. And plenty shops.
That's very much how it's getting here now, too. The idea of the enclosed mall, the Woodfields, the Mall of America, have kind of disappeared. COVID wasn't the death knell for them. They were kind of fading out already. I want to say the last time I went to a mall was with Farnsworth, of all people, because he needed a pair of jeans, and I realized I used to work in that mall that we went to, and I hadn't been there in at least 15 years.
Yeah. Frankly spoken, malls will be killed by internet.
Yeah.
And then it comes back to the shops, to the humble shops in the where you really shop and city, cafe next place and stuff. And
where I'd like to move, which is the next town just north of us, and where my son and his roommate are living, about 10-minute walk from their house is the city center, which is not just the shops, it's also the business district, but the businesses are in the buildings on top of the shops. So downstairs would be maybe 3 different restaurants and a coffee shop, and upstairs would be the top 10 floors would be all the businesses. And then there's a lot of apartments within walking distance, so people who don't want to buy houses, which are 10-15 minutes away, have everything. The one thing that's not quite as convenient there is the fact that grocery stores are still about almost far enough away you almost have to drive them. Or you do what I do, which is you go to the grocery store every day for just enough food for that day.
Yeah. Something what we have here in Herdecke, we have our center of the city, where you have the weekly market,
Oh,
where you have farmers and also the usual one or two carts where you buy fresh fish. Something you where you usually have to a delicatessen shop and pay incredible amount of money because it's on market it's also not the cheapest food. Fish is needs to be delivered fast and needs a special treatment. Then you have the one or two carts selling all kind of cake, bread, cookies, and the like.
yes.
And the interesting thing is how do they survive? Because our bakeries are just 10 meters away.
Yeah.
You have the local baker, and confusingly, they all make a living. And then, of course, you have the special convenience stuff where you can get scissors, needles, glue, tapes for any purpose, and any stuff you never considered you would like to have or you would need to have, but they have it. That this kind of things. And then of course one or two of those stuff with all kinds of meat. The butcher where you get sausages and the like.
Oh, yes.
Plus the food stuff that is burgers. Burgers have is not the common thing in Germany. Our common thing is the frikadelle. You would call it a burger from pork.
Ooh. Ooh.
It's just ground meat, just from pork, and then come the special receipts. Have some a little bit of have some onions in it. So onions cut into just small, very small pieces, just added, or even added some bread for to make it more fluffy. Though rarely happens because usually meat is the real thing. Onions needed for taste. Bread is something extra. You put you have a bun, a fricadelle, mustard on it, and then the other half of the bun is cover.
Yes, yes.
Or you have the bun separately, because then you can eat it without unlocking your jaw. It's and of course then you have the grilled chicken, another complete business of its own.
Mm-hmm.
Grilled chicken rotating live in front of you,
Yes.
and then you have maybe also turkey.
Really?
Not whole turkeys.
Oh,
but,
I was going to say that would be impressive.
that would be a monstrosity.
Yes.
Just consider how the hell do you get back a plenty kilogram turkey, and then but it's the leg, the thing of is this meat or is that just a primitive weapon? Of course, you can grab it, and but I have my turkey base.
Yeah. One of the things that we used to go to the Renaissance Fair was for the turkey legs, which are smoked and baked slowly, so they're very tender and very rich and very delicious. But yeah, they are weapons. They are definitely weapons. They're huge. I don't even know where they get them. They're so big.
Yeah. Weaponized food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed. Hey,
But
go ahead.
yeah, but But definitely, the grilled chickens are the real thing.
Yeah, they have them here, but the place that makes them close to me doesn't do them well. I mean, so they wind up being kind of dry, and so last night I stopped at the store, bought myself a whole chicken, and even though it was hot, I roasted the chicken, because, then I'll have chicken salad, and I'm going to make my quinoa chicken and broccoli casserole for dinner. I've got meals for days.
Yeah, and then something you rarely, that is something you have to go to Bavaria, because that is the natural habitat of them. But the Schweinshaxe, pig's ankle.
Oh, yes! Yes! Oh, I love those.
Something made right takes 2 days to make it professional.
2 days.
If I understood that correctly, but always kind of awesome. You have the crispy outer, and then you have the incredibly tender meat that is almost dropping from the bone.
Oh, yeah.
And hardly to find something more delicious, considered not healthy but delicious.
Well, it's not unhealthy.
Depends how you treat the outer stuff, because there is the fat in it, and yes, but that's a matter of taste.
This is true. I'm sure the preparations that they do here for are completely different, but ideally it's slowly roasted. It's usually brined here, which helps keep the meat moist. Then slow roasted, and then so most of the fat kind of melts away, but it's the interior collagen, and that's the reason it's so delicious, which is just a protein, and that slowly dissolves into the meat, which is why you get that wonderful falling apartiness. And what you do to the outside, I've seen people use a blowtorch to get it crispy on the outside. I've seen it broiled. I've seen it like almost deep fried to get the outside done. But the skin gets so rich. I mean, how much skin can you eat? And good morning, Apollo.
Yeah, one thing is, of course, deep frying, in my opinion, worst idea, because it adds fat.
It depends. It depends. There have been studies done on these things because there's nothing to adhere the fat to. The skin doesn't absorb the fat. Well, it's got its own fat. And it's only in for like 1 to 2 minutes to get it crisp, so it can actually draw more fat out. The thing is, if you put any kind of batter or breading on it, that's going to soak up the fat. So...
Yeah, okay, yeah. And of course, all us knows the fries.
Yeah, fries are a treat. I eat them very, very, very rarely. They're delicious when I do them, so I make a point of going to a place that has really good fries if I'm going to do that. And Musin points out the type of fat used in the fry also matters.
Yes, indeed. And actually, the type of fat used also makes a difference in taste.
Oh, yeah.
I have stopped using one delivery service, as I know there are 2 different cooks at least working. Those who can fry things, and the one who can fry things, and the one who cannot. That is really just same ingredients and definitely different outcome. Ugh.
So Musin points out not only that the type of fat used to fry matters, and the temperature it reaches, the speed it fries at, all of that does affect it. One thing that also affects it is how old the fat is that you're frying it in, because fat breaks down with heat. And as it breaks down, it's easier for food to absorb it. So places that change out their cooking fat frequently tend to have that crispier, more delicious, but also slightly healthier version. But fat is expensive. So a lot of places will use the fat until it's almost rancid.
And speaking of oxygenated,
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yes.
and yeah, it as usually it depends, and there is something. You have the restaurants, and then you have the imbiss. The imbiss is the fast food thing where you get the fried schnitzel and the fried fries and the salad for just excuse.
It's healthy. It's got a salad with it.
Yes, indeed. And okay, but sometimes the imbiss produce better fried stuff than the restaurant. That then becomes interesting, cause okay, I get more better food for less money from the imbiss, because it's kind of yeah. Walk in, get your get your sausage and your fries, and go out. So it's just unassuming, I would call it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can have your stuff.
Musin has suggested one trick is to fry it a short time, let it rest on paper towels until it's absorbed the fat, assuming the paper towel cooled down, and then finish frying it in round 2. Yes, here's a neater trick though, Musin. After round 1, put it on a God, what do we call it? We call them a cooling rack, but what it is it's a metal net would be the best description, very wide spaced net, and it allows the fat to drip through so it doesn't sit in the fat while it's cooling down from that first fry. So if you've ever had Korean fried chicken, if you haven't had Korean fried chicken, go try it. Korean fried chicken is cooked for a few moments, taken out, allowed to cool, recooked, allowed to cool, recooked, allowed to cool, recooked, and served. So it's cooked 4 times in fat, and somebody described it as shatteringly crisp. And it's not Korean with spices. You add your spices and your sauce to it later. It's just the cooking technique. Chinese fried duck. Oh, Lexers.
Yeah. So if there would be kind of for food, that would violate the Hague Convention. Cooked 4 times until eaten.
Yeah, it's so good. Apulu has been answering us, but in somebody else's chat.
Yeah. Yeah, this was definitely an extremely busy Star Trek online gaming.
Yes, and we didn't play one
morning.
single thing aside from the dance.
Yeah. First start with the toxic stuff like education policy and more, then go to dance, and after that go to the fun stuff speaking about food.
Fried food. See,
That is like yeah. Visit your friendly neighbors or have a short chat in the neighborhood. I would call
exactly.
this.
Well, with that, I need to go walk the doggos and go to work. So, Lexers, yes, I will anticipate getting Chinese fried duck when I come up to visit you on the Canadian tour.
By the way,
Yes.
speaking of fried and dogs,
No, we don't fry our
tomorrow
dogs.
I think we will schedule a ground build, another one.
Perfect. That sounds great. All right, so I'm going to go take care of the puppos. Ed, you want to log off and say ta-ta to everybody?
Yeah. So everybody, brace for the week.
Oh, yeah.
Those living in high temperature areas.
Coat yourself with the
Have
olive oil.
shadow.
Once through, get out the giant paper towel so that after the first round of frying, you can cool off, as Musin suggests, and then go back outside.
Yeah, roasted men and women. And yeah, so brace for the week, brace for the weather, take care, and stay awesome.